ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Good morning, welcome back. Thank you for being here. It's a great honor to be with you. It inspires me, it encourages me that you join week after week. Although sometimes the Ramayana goes slow, sometimes it picks up pace, sometimes there's too many details, sometimes we may run out of patience. Regardless, you're here week after week, and so I'm very, very grateful. We are in a very crucial moment of the war, the fight between Sri Rama and Ravana. And where we left off is Ravana's charioteer found that Ravana was in a very helpless condition. The chariot horses were hurt, the chariot staff was broken, Ravana was not able to fight, and he had almost lost consciousness. And the chariot driver, out of affection for his master, turned the chariot and took it out of the battlefield. When Ravana came back to his consciousness, Ravana became extremely enraged. There is something about Ramayana where it comes again and again as a repeating pattern where one person, especially the person in the position of power, in the position of a superior, in a position of a superior, does not fully take the opportunity to understand what the other person was thinking. We see it in the situation with Vali and Sugriva. We see it in the situation of Ravana and his charioteer. So Ravana, when he came back, Satu Mohat Samskruddha. Susamkruddha. Kruddha is angry. Samkruddha is enraged. Susamkruddha means he had no boundaries for his anger. Kritanta Balachoditaha. He was inspired by death in one sense. That's how angry he was. Krodha Samrakta Nayanaha. His eyes became red with anger. Ravanaha Sutam Abravit. Sutam is chariot driver. Ravana Sutam Abravit. Sutam is also a certain category of people, generally chariot drivers, but Karna was taken care of by the chariot driver and his wife. So he got the name Sutaputra. Here he is called Sutam, the chariot driver. And then there is a certain class of people that are called Suta. The one who's reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam is also in this category. Romaharshana Suta and his son Ugrashava Suta. Anyway, so Ravana said, you think I am powerless. You think I have some shortage in my skill and I'm not man enough. You think I'm coward and I'm petty-minded. I have no energy. I've lost something. I'm weak. And somehow I've lost my ability for conjuring different tricks. And you evil-minded fellow, you brought me out of the battlefield upon your own discretion. You have no consulting anyone. You just decided like this. Why? Why did you take my chariot out of the battlefield? By you, you really unworthy fellow, you have completely diminished my glory, which I have earned through such a long period of fighting the Devatas, Danavas, this one and that one, and my dignity and my people's faith. What will my followers think of me? That Ravana is a coward, he came out of the battlefield? You have completely destroyed anything in terms of dignity, glory, power, strength, power, everything you've taken away. What will my adversaries think? Especially he's indicating to Sri Rama. What will they think? Especially when they know how notorious and famous I am in the world. When they look at me, they will think, ha ha, this coward ran away from the battlefield. Krishna also tells Arjuna, you're such a great hero. You're known all over the world as a great archer. And today, if you leave the battlefield, can you imagine what people will talk about you? And that insult will be worse than death. So, you chariot driver, I think you have been corrupted by my enemy. On that side, the Vanaras, Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriva, they have corrupted your mind somehow. Maybe you took a bribe or something. I don't know what it is, but you have completely betrayed me. Especially such things in the middle of a battlefield, what you have done is not what a friend does or a well-wisher. In fact, you are not my well-wisher. So you have been inspired by my enemy. Evam parushamuktastu hitabuddhir avabuddhina hitabuddhir abuddhina abravit ravanam suto hitam sanunayam vachaha. Now, the chariot driver, after all, is a servant. He is inferior in situation, in position. His entire fidelity, his faith has been questioned. That's another lesson, that a superior should never, especially ordinary people, should never doubt or question someone else's faith, someone else's chastity, or someone else's fidelity. Like saying, you're an ungrateful fellow. You can never say to another person, you're an ungrateful fellow. You can never say to another person, I don't think you have enough love for Guru and Krishna. None of us has the ability, strength, or qualification or right to say that about anybody. Who are we to judge anybody's? We may say uh, some areas that you can think about or look into. That's a different issue, but we are no one to judge. And here, although he's being judged as a offender, a infidel, this one, that one. In fact, Valmiki is also, I guess, upset with Ravana. Therefore, he's calling him Hita Buddhi, the fellow who's lost his intelligence. And Abuddhina, speaking out of completely insensitive, speaking from a very insensitive position. And yet, the chariot driver, Hitam, Suto Hitam Sanunayam, he was always a well wisher, and he remained like that. And he spoke to Ravana. He said, "Oh, my dear king, na bhitosmi. I was not afraid. I'm not afraid. No mudhosmi. Nor am I some perplexed fellow, oh God, bewildered on the battlefield. Nopasajjapto asmi shatrubhi. Nor have I been disloyal to you. Na pramatta. I don't disregard you, your position at all. Na nisneho. Nor have I lost my friendliness towards you. Vismrita na cha satkriya. Nor am I ungrateful. I have not forgotten all the favors you have done upon me. No, not at all. Mayatu hitakamena. All I did was out of well wishing for you, because the situation that you were in. So sneha prasanna manasahitam. I did it out of a pleasing heart. Out of only I was only considering your life. I was not considering even my own life situation. Okay. I'm neither petty minded. I don't think of you as petty minded, unworthy. No, I'm completely devoted to you. O king, please listen why I took the chariot out of the battlefield. I looked and you seemed so exhausted in fighting with Ravana. So this Ramachandra, this fight has been very strenuous on you. And from your side, you were not able to exhibit any valor or strength, or you didn't seem like you were superior in strength to Sri Ramachandra. Plus, look at the horses. They are the ones who have to run through the battlefield and they are completely exhausted. Look at the chariot. It's broken. And it is it is so much in distress, the chariot. It looks like the cows who are distressed in the heat of summer. So they want to move to a shade. Now look around, Ravana. Everywhere in the sky, the birds, the wind, the stars, they're all indicating something inauspicious for you. So, considering all of these, I came to know that I, as a charioteer, this is what my duty is. I'm being paid for this. What is this? Desha Kalaucha. I have to look at the place and time. Sometimes say time, place, and circumstance. But here, time and place. It's my job to ascertain time and place. Cha Vigneyo. And I have to look around what the general environment looks as. Is it favorable or unfavorable? Lakshanani inkitani cha. Lakshanani, what are some of the symptoms of the situation? And what is the higher order arrangement? Dainyam, Harsha cha, Kheda cha, Rathina cha, Balavalam. So then I have to measure, okay, how helpless or strong my master is. I have to see how happy, delighted, or distressed he is. Is he weak in strength? And I also have to look what the situation of the chariot is. And this is what Bala Balam, what are the strengths and weaknesses. So because when you are fighting, you may not be considering all these things. It is my job to think about it. I have to see how the ground is, the condition of the road. Are there bumps in it? Are there rocks in it? How the chariot can run? How the horses can? So these are all things I need to consider. And as far as I'm concerned, I found that all the situations were in against your favor, and therefore I, as your loyal servant, decided at that time to remove your chariot and you from the battlefield. Now, you may do with me as you like. Whatever order you give me, that's what I will do. Karishyamaham Veera Gatan Nrinena Chetasa. So whatever you indicate, even with your eye, I will follow your order. And the way the chariot driver spoke, suddenly Ravana, no, sorry, excuse me, from an angry situation, his heart just melted. Santushtena Vakyena Ravanastasya Sarathe. He became so happy by the word that this fellow is genuinely my friend and well-wisher. He's thinking about my well-being. Prashamsyena Bahuvidha, and started to glorify and appreciate his chariot driver in different ways. And said, Ratham Shigram Suta Raghava Abhimukam Naya. Naya means to take. Immediately take the chariot face to face with Ramachandra. Arjuna also told Krishna, Sainayor Ubhayor Madhye Ratham Stapayame Achyuta. And he says, I want to stand in front of Sri Rama and never turn my back at him. Eva Muktva Rathastasya Ravano Rakshasheshwaraha. Now he's the lord of the Rakshasas. He has regained his fiery inspiration, and his chariot driver has proven to him that he is such a loyal well-wisher. Dadau tasya shubham hi ekam hasta bharanam uttamam. So Ravana from his hand removed one of the best bangles or armlets, and Shubham, beautiful one, gave it to the chariot driver as a gift. And the chariot driver brought the chariot back into the battlefield. And the chariot came back so fast that in a moment, Kshanena Ramasya Rana Agrato Abhavat. Immediately the chariot, in a fraction of a moment, came and stood right in front of Sri Ramachandra. Ravana is looking at Sri Rama. And Rama, who's standing there on the battlefield, facing Ravana, Ramachandra also looks a little bit in Chintaya. He's concerned, he's thinking. Because this Ravana is coming back again and again and has so much strength in him. At this point, suddenly, on the battlefield, Agastya Muni appears. Imagine, it's a battle scene. In the middle of the battlefield, Agastya Muni shows up. Because Agastya Muni is one of the teachers of Sri Ramachandra. And when Sri Ram, when the student is in some distress about struggling to fight with some malady that they are facing, each one of us, I shouldn't say each one of us, every conditioned soul, every sadhaka faces some challenge in their lives. Either it's a bodily challenge, a mental challenge, circumstantial challenge. We can call it Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika, whatever challenge. At that time when the mind is distressed, perplexed, as Arjuna says, at that time, it is the words of the Guru, something, some indicator, some message, some lesson, it is spoken, and it happens in a very, I would call it divine way, providential way, that something will come such that they have strength to hold on to those words, those instructions, and find new energy to continue on the path of where they want to go. So this sage Agastya, who is very, very powerful, short-statured, comes there and says, Rama, Rama, Mahabaho, O Rama, one with mighty arms, Shunu Guhyam Sanatanam. Hear some very confidential message that I want to give you. Yena Sarvan Arin Vatsa, O my dear son, Rama, Samare Vijayishyase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, by which, O my dear child, you can win over all your enemies. Where are our enemies? Right here. Lovely, lovely 6 enemies that don't seem to reduce at all. So, Agastya says, Aditya Hridayam Punyam Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. You recite what I'm about to tell you, Rama. It's called Aditya Hridayam. These are prayers to, I'm going to explain. Very literally, prayers to the heart of the sun. Aditya Hridayam. Jayavaham Japam Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam. When you recite these, it will at all times, Nityam Akshayam. This will never reduce or become weak, this mantra. And Shivam, Paramam Shivam, very auspicious mantras. Sarva Mangala Mangalyam. It is among all auspicious things, this is the auspicious one. Sarva Papa Pranashanam. And it will remove all sinful reactions. Chinta Shoka Prashamanam. If a person is brought down by the heaviness of chinta, then, or shoka, or lamentation, prashamanam, it will remove that, it will pacify all of that. Ayur vardhanam uttamam, and it will expand or enlarge or elongate one's lifespan. There is something about chitta and chinta. There's a subhashita. Chitta chinta bindu ekamatra. If you write chitta and you put a dot on it, it becomes chinta. Chitta means a dead body, a funeral pyre. The wood that is about to be lit is called fire. The fire that burns a dead body, that's called chitta. Chinta with a little dot means the fire that constantly burns the mind. Chitta dahate sharira. Chitta dahate ajivam. Once one is dead, the chitta burns the person. And chinta burns the person throughout their life. This is the power of chinta, worry, shoka. It's constantly, it moves in the mind so much that it burns the person's life. They can't enjoy life at all. So then Agastya Muni recites the entire Aditya Hridaya prayer. There are about 24 verses or so. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but I'm going to give you a context, because some people suddenly will say, oh, I'll make it my daily. You're welcome to, if you like. These are wonderful, powerful prayers. But what is important is the reason, if at all you decide to recite, what would be the motivation for it, and what should be the clear conception, if at all one needs to recite this. At the external, it sounds like prayers to the sun. Rashmimantam samudyantam devasura namaskritam. Rashmimantam, full of effulgent rays. Samudyantam, it is always glowing, that it is as if ever rising. It's always ever rising anyway. Deva asura namaskritam. The suras and the asuras are constantly praying to the sun god. Pujasya, pujayasva. You should worship Vivaswantam, the Vivaswan, the sun god. Bhaskaram, the one who makes everything enlightened. Bhuvaneshwaram, the Lord of the entire world. Now, externally, a lot of people misunderstand that this is prayers to the sun globe, and they recite it. And when they think about it as the prayers for the sun globe, what they will get is definitely powerful material blessings: strong body, good health, uh, a certain virya power in their body. But with time, it will diminish. The reason, if it is here in the Ramayana and it is being spoken by Agastya to Sri Rama, and Ramayana does not give worldly things, then there must be a purpose, because these are the Vedas. So the real understanding is that these are prayers to the form of Narayana residing in the sun globe. And that Narayana is golden formed. It's called Surya Narayana. And there are many Vedic aphorisms, there are other Puranas, including Srimad Bhagavatam, that will point to that Supreme Lord. Even in Ishopanishad, we say, Hiranmayena Patrena Satyashavitam Mukham. Hiranmayena Patre. Your form is golden and your effulgence is golden. Please remove that so I can see your true form. Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti Narayana Dheya Sada. Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti. He is residing in the middle of the sun planet. And that Narayana is one who is to be worshipped. So these are prayers. If one understands this conception, then praying to Narayana in this way will be wonderful. And nice prayers, very, very powerful, well put together. I mean, who am I to say? But very nice, wonderful prayers. So then, when Sri Ramachandra is narrated all of this, and Agastya Muni has given him this instruction, Ramachandra becomes energized. He sips water 3 times, does Achaman, and repeats the entire Aditya Hridayam prayer. So the principle is that one can only fight against, win over one's difficulties when one receives instructions from one's guru and follows it. Arjuna said, Shadi Mam Tvam Prapannam, you are my guru, I surrender unto you. You please tell me what am I supposed to do. And the entire instruction goes up to the point where he says, I've understood everything. Nashta moha smritit labdha, karishye vachanam tava. And then Arjuna becomes victorious in such a way that even Vyasadeva says, Yatra Yatra, wherever there is Krishna, there is Arjuna, Partho, Dhanurtaraha. In that place, all of these qualities are there. Shri, Vijaya, Bhutir, Matir, Mama. This is my opinion that all of one's life's opulences manifest where a wonderful disciple and an instructing guru. That combination is never failing. And Sri Ramachandra, who becomes powerful, looks at Ravana right on his chariot, formidable, as if he's going to crush all of his enemies. And everything looks awesome. His chariot is all wonderful, golden, sparkling. And as they're watching the chariot of Ravana coming towards them, at that time, the chariot driver of Indra, Matali, says, Ramachandra speaks to Matali, let's advance towards the chariot that I want to completely destroy. So please drive my chariot swiftly. Now, and Ramachandra gives description of Ravana's chariot and tells Matali, who's the chariot driver of Indra, take my chariot there very quickly. I wish to destroy the enemy. And then look at Ramachandra's heart. Ah, it melts like anything. He realizes that this is not his chariot driver, it is Indra's chariot driver. He has come from the heavenly abode. Hmm. So Ramachandra immediately says to Kamam Natvam Samadheyaha. Actually, I shouldn't be instructing you. Purandara Rathochitaha. You are the chariot driver of Indra. I have got this chariot out of a favor of Indra. And suddenly I'm speaking to, as if I'm speaking to you, as if I'm your master and you're my servant. Yuyutsur aham ekagraha smaraye tvam na sikshaye. Out of this spirit, this excitement of wanting to fight this battle, I'm just reminding you of what needs to be done. Na sikshaye. I'm not instructing you or disciplining you as to what you need to do. Ramachandra recognizes that just because I have gotten power because of someone else, I don't become arrogant that I'm the owner of this. I should remember that I am getting this benefit because of someone else's mercy. So I can remind you, I don't have time to tell you the story, but that lovely story of Punarmushika Bhava. Just few days ago, we were listening to Srila Prabhupada's class, and he reminds us again, Punarmushika Bhava, again become a mouse. When the tiger, who was initially a little mouse, became a tiger by the blessings of a sage, looks at the sage and starts growling at him. And the sage says, "You're ungrateful," sprinkles water and says, Punarmushika Bhava. So Ramachandra is very, very careful. No, no, I don't forget from where I have received so much grace. I cannot become audacious or arrogant. And immediately Matali, when he hears this, his heart becomes so pleased by Ramachandra. In the middle of the battlefield, in all of this context, Ramachandra has not lost his sensitivity. Paritushthas Ramasya Tena Vakyena Matali. Paritushta became so completely delighted and happy and extremely gratified. Prachodayamasa ratham Surasarathi Ruttama. The excellent chariot driver of the king of the gods, Matali, happily rode the chariot forward. Now, Ravana is there, and Ramachandra's chariot came from his right side, Apasavyam, and stood right there. Ravana looked at Ramachandra, eyes coppery red, blazing. Now, as if provoking Sri Ramachandra for a fight. All of battles going on. But Rama combines or mixes patience with anger. Now, this is not easy for anybody. It takes great control of the senses that one is patient while they are angry. Usually, anger is the quality that destroys patience. Yet, Ramachandra is a wonderful lesson. Gharshamarishito Ramo Dhairyam Ravanena Labhyatam. He's waiting patiently, although he's angry at Ravana. And both of them uh, pick up their weapons. Ramachandra picks up the bow that Matali had brought from Indra. Indra had given that bow. And wonderful arrows that are very, very swift and bright like the sun. And there, Rama Ravana stood again facing each other, and suddenly, the post-interval movie is going to start. All the Gandharvas, Siddhas, Charanas, Rishis again assembled in the sky, and they were looking and longing for the destruction of Ravana. And in the sky, the whole region started to indicate Ravana's defeat and Ramachandra's victory. For example, I'm not going to go through all the details. The sky had a certain color of reds and yellow and white. Vultures started circling Ravana's chariot. She jackals were loudly crying, howling as Ravana's chariot was moving. And Indra dropped blood, especially on Ravana's chariot, because Indra is the king of rains. He rained blood onto Ravana's chariot. All the different directions started to become shrouded in darkness. Now, as far as Ravana's chariot is concerned, his horses started to let out sparks from their hips and tears from their eyes. The kind of noise that the fire was emitting is like when you mix water and fire together. It has a certain crackling noise. And yet, Ramachandra, who knows exactly how to read the signs or indicators, suddenly became energized and inspired that, oh, seems like this is the time for me that is in my favor. So Rama and Ravana began to fight again in a very, very intense way. Now, the way Rama and Ravana started to fight with each other, it struck terror in the hearts of all beings in the world. Not just world, worlds, everywhere. In all the three worlds, everyone sat at the edge of their seat, as they say, waiting to see what happens. The fight was too intense. On this side are all the Rakshasas, and this side are all the Vanaras. Looking at Rama and Ravana fighting, they all stood motionless. Although holding weapons in their hands, they didn't fight each other. They were just stunned at the kind of fight that was happening between the two. And they were so dumbstruck. Although their arms are carrying weapons and they're ready to fight, they all both just stood there witnessing the fight between Rama and Ravana, that they forgot to attack each other. The Rakshasas were looking at Ravana. The monkeys were all gazing at Sri Ramachandra. And Valmiki says they were all standing so motionless, it looked like they were all paintings. Vyakshiptam hridaya sarve param vismayagataha. They became so amazed. They just stood there. And Pashyatam Vismitakshanam. They stood there with such wonder. Sainyam Chitram Iva Abhavav. The entire armies looked like paintings. They're not motionless. And this time Ravana start to fight, and they are shooting arrows at each other. One is hitting the horses, the other is hitting the flag on the chariot. They're tearing down the flags. Ramachandra is cutting down Ravana's chariot. Ravana is becoming indignant. He becomes very angry and starts to release so many arrows at Sri Ramachandra. All these arrows are flaming. They are very powerful. Ramachandra is being struck. Ravana is being struck. The fighting is just way too much. Tumulam trasasajanam bhimam. The entire world can hear a clamor from that battlefield. Bhima Pratiswanam, and the reverberation from that fight between Rama and Ravana is shaking the entire universe. Arrows are hitting each other. The arrows are hitting Ravana, arrows are hitting Rama, they're colliding with each other. The chariots are colliding, the arrows are colliding, Ravana, Rama are fighting like anything. And Ravanasya Hayan Ramo. Ramachandra shot arrows on Ravana's horses. Hayan Ramasya Ravana. Ravana shot arrows on Ramachandra's horses. Jagnustav tada anyonyam kritanukritakarinam. And they were hitting each other one after each blow. They were exchanging blows with each other. They were hitting their horses. And these two warriors became extremely enraged, angry. And it says the way they were fighting for an entire hour. Muhurtam abhavad yuddham. Tumulam roma harshanam. Generally, when someone's hair stands on end, it's a momentary experience. But for everybody in the universe, their hairs were standing on end for an entire hour. All living beings are gazing at Sri Rama and Ravana. And the Rama Ravana are constantly distressing each other, fighting, arrows. I mean, one after the other, one after the other. And Valmiki gives, Ravana shot 20 arrows, Rama shot 20 arrows back. This shower of arrows is constantly going on, such that all the seven seas on the planet became agitated by the sounds of what's happening on the battlefield. All the Danavas, the snakes in the subterranean region. So the entire universe got agitated by this fight. The earth globe shook as if there's an earthquake. The sun's brilliance became very diminished, and suddenly the wind stopped blowing. The rishis and all of them are it's so stunned, and they want to say something to Sri Ramachandra. So they all said, "Oh, Ramachandra, may everything be well with the cows and the brahmanas, because those two can revive human life. May all the worlds be able to endure what is happening between Rama and Ravana. May Sri Rama become victorious upon Ravana, the king of the Rakshasas." And then, as this is a famous verse, it's quoted again and again and again, and is considered a poetic genius by Valmiki, but also conveying, because Valmiki is the best at conveying something with analogies, like we've heard so many times. So when they were all showering blessings and favorable Vedic mantras for Lord Rama, everybody's hair is standing on end from that situation. Gandharva Apsarasam Sangha. On the sky, all the Gandharvas and Apsaras have collected. Drashtva Yuddham Anupamam. Anupam means one who has no analogy or equal to say something. So, for example, we say to somebody, let's say somebody's dressed very well, we say, "Wow, you're looking handsome like the Ashwini Kumara." Or, "Your face is glowing like the sun." Or, "You're so handsome looking right now, you look like the full moon." So there is an analogy given to give us an idea of what it looks like. And so he says, Yuddham Anupamam. You cannot give an analogy of the fight between Rama and Ravana. And this is the famous 1.5 shlokas. Gaganam Gaganakaram. The sky looks like the sky. Sagaraha Sagaropamam. The ocean looks like the ocean. Because when you have to give some analogy of how vast the sky is, what is the analogy you can give? You can't say the sky is so vast so you can only say the sky is as vast or looks like as vast as the sky. Same with the ocean. What do you compare an ocean to? An ocean. Sagaraha Sagaropamam. Rama Ravanayor Yuddham. The fight between Rama Ravana is Rama Ravana Iva. It's like the fight between Rama Ravana. There is no comparison. You can't say Rama Ravana fight is like the fight between Indra and Vritrasura. You cannot say that. There is no comparison. It is a mighty war that the entire universe is shaking. So Gaganam Gagana Akaram Sagara Sagaropagam Rama Ravanayor Yuddham Rama Ravanayor Iva. Evam Bruvanto. That's what they are saying. We have never seen anything like this. This is fantastic. So Ramachandra mounted another arrow such that he himself will enhance the glory of the Raghus. And with a mighty, powerful arrow, shot at Ravana and cut off his head. Ah, this is the first time. I mean, Ravana has been defeated, but his head has been cut off. And as soon as the head cut off, before anyone can clap and yell, yay, another head, exactly like the previous head, cropped up on Ravana's shoulders. And Ramachandra, in an instant, almost like reflex, shot another arrow and killed or cut off that second head as well. Now, one may say, so isn't Ravana in full display with 10 heads? No. Apparently, it would mean that he has appeared in battle with just one head. But one head has been cut off, the second one has come. Ramachandra cut off that one too. Guess what? Although Ramachandra's arrow hits Ravana like a thunderbolt, that head when came off, another head showed up. Equally brilliant. Ramachandra cut that one too. Valmiki says hundreds of heads showed up, one after the other, equally brilliant. And Ramachandra, one after the other, was cutting off those heads. And Ramachandra himself is so well versed with weapons, right? Atbala, Atibala, he has received from Vishwamitra, he has received from uh, Agastya Muni. Now, this Ramachandra, after cutting off hundreds of heads, became completely doubtful. I said, this is a wonder. I'm an expert archer. Okay. And when I release an arrow, it never comes back as if unsuccessful. Not that he's unsuccessful, he's thinking, what is going on? With the help of one arrow, I killed Maricha. It was not difficult to fight those mighty demons like Khara, Dushana, Viradha, Kabandha in the Dandaka forest. And in Kishkinda, I shot one arrow that went through 7 sal trees. And it went with such impetuosity that all the leaves of the sal tree fell off. I killed that Vali. Oh, when the arrow shot through the sal trees, it went into the ground, touched Patala, and came back. That's the power of the arrow. I killed Vali with one arrow. And by my power, the entire ocean became agitated. And yet, it has no effect or very little effect on Ravana. At this time, Ramachandra became very thoughtful. And while he's thinking, Ravana has showered hundreds of arrows onto the chest of Sri Ramachandra. Because Ravana, who's tormented by anger that he's been cutting off his head, Ravana has been shooting arrows, and Ramachandra, in return, shot back arrows. At the still time, he's thinking, what is going on? Again, a wonderful fight continued between both of them. That Lanka, situated on top of the Trikuta mountain, is shaking because the whole earth is shaking. And the Devatas, the Nagas, Yakshas, they're all there looking at this contest. And there was no break, there was no moment for eating. Apparently, Naiva ratrim na divasam, na muhurtam na chakshanam. There was no stopping in the night. They fought all through the night. Na divasam. They did not stop in the day. They continued fighting throughout the day. Na muhurtam. There was no pause for a while. Na chakshanam. Not even for a moment. Rama Ravanayor yuddham viramam upagachati. Viramam means recess, stopping, resting. This went on for days and nights. By night, by day, every hour, every moment, they were fighting. It didn't look like who was going to win. Neither of them were willing to give up, and neither of them was becoming weaker. At this time, Matali, the chariot driver of Indra, but right now Ramachandra's chariot driver, uh, said something to Sri Ramachandra. And I'm not going to say anything right now. We'll pause here because this chapter that's coming up is chapter 108. Auspicious chapter 108 is Ravana's death. When Matali will say something to Sri Rama, and from then the battle will almost end. So, any thoughts, comments, suggestions, something you'd like to express? Please feel free. I'm all ears.
Hare Krishna, bro. Please acknowledge my senses.
Hare Krishna, Narendra.
Bro, I have one question, something related to Aditya Hridayam.
Hmm.
So, this is related like Purusha Sukta and other Suktas which are from Vedas. I heard it is resided in Mayapur temple and also like Gaudiya Vaishnavas chant that one. But for
Hmm.
us, we told that Hare Krishna mantra is the Maha mantra. By chanting that one, uh, we can like that is our main thing. Then why do devotees also chant that Purushokta, other suktas, even though they are from Vedas and glorifying Lord Narayana?
What is the issue there? Is there a restriction that you're not supposed to glorify Lord Narayana? There is Bhagavatam as Narayana Kavacha mantra. Uh, Prahlad Maharaj is glorifying all these prayers to Lord Narasimhadev.
So my
Uh,
question is, once if Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Mahamantra, by chanting is we can get everything. What is
yeah,
the need of other things?
but there's not need. It's in the spirit of Kirtanam. It's in the spirit of glorifying the Lord. I mean, Prahlad Maharaj did not just stand in front of Narasimhadev and say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Nothing wrong in it. Wonderful. That's our Yuga mantra given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We chant that mantra. It gives prema towards the Lord. It's the constitutional prayer. Please engage me in your service. It places us in our constitutional position, but it doesn't limit us from glorifying the Lord in different ways. It's like saying banana is a fruit. It's a wonderful fruit. Why do we need other fruits? I wouldn't encourage you to see it in that siloed way. The Lord can be glorified in wonderful ways, and one must be. But and to nourish one's memory and remembrance of the Lord, if one recites, there is no harm. But it doesn't mean that it replaces or substitutes for the mantra the Guru has given. There's no harm. But the conception should be clear who it is that one is praying to. That's why in the beginning I said there's no harm is wonderful. It's from the Ramayana. But as far as one knows that one is calling upon the Supreme Lord, there's no wrong.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hmm.
Hi Krishna Prabhu. Please accept my
Hare
reverence.
Krishna. Stira.
I was reminded, like the scene that you narrated, where Lord Rama says to Maithili that, no, I'm not instructing you, I'm just reminding you. Took me to, reminded me something of Srila Prabhupada saying I have come here only to remind you what you have forgotten. So it was like a very specific flavor of gratitude and humility put together. Very, very sweet for somebody like me who always is lacking in humility and gratitude. So I was appreciating that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sthira.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Parama Karuna, please.
Yes, Prabhu. I don't know when you were explaining that the Ravana, his chariot driver, he brought him back to the safe place and how he was appreciating it. You did a great job. But he was not understanding, and he gave you a big, like a gold bangle, probably you told. And he was
Yeah.
not understanding that it's such power corrupts so much that he has no idea that he has kidnapped someone's wife and is fighting for the undue cause, which is not this is not a great cause, and he's trying to gift something for her because he's saved. So my question is, Prabhu, this tendency, then when the power comes in a devotional life also, it's it's I'm just talking especially about me, that sometimes power, fame, reputation comes to me, it becomes very hard for me to handle it, and knowingly or unknowingly I commit boom mistakes. So and then Krishna smash me. What is the demarcation line where we can keep ourselves stable when the power and fame, reputation come? Because I become completely like a Ravana when the power comes.
My spiritual master once told me that vigilance itself is a great protection. Vigilance, that I'm aware at this point I'm getting labha, puja, pratishtha from people, and it should not rise to my head. I am, after all, a servant. Vigilance in every situation, not just in the case of appreciation that one is vigilant, otherwise one's not. In every aspect of life, he said one is vigilant. One shouldn't fall asleep or become distracted or negligent. Vigilance, he said, itself, first thing is itself a guard. It's powerful, it's protecting. The second is the chariot driver did not become angry because he's in his constitutional position with Ravana. I'm, after all, your servant, and this is my job. I'm doing my job as I'm supposed to do. So, being aware. Just the other day, we were talking, somebody, that self-awareness is the first step in self-realization. At least aware what is going on to me at this point. And because of what's going on, what am I speaking? As I say, as I'm speaking, I may not be fully aware inside yet, but as I'm speaking, can I hear my own words? It all comes as reflection, right? Reflects. Here the verse was Rama, Sri Rama is being prodded, provoked by Ravana. Ramachandra is angry, but he's patient. Oh, these two are such opposing forces. But Ramachandra is showing it. There is anger and there is patience. He doesn't utter or act in a way that is uh, without thought behind it. The speediest is the tongue. It says things that are hurtful. I mean, I've done that too, and I continue. It's a thing. It comes out, and then, oh, why did I say that? I shouldn't have said it this way.
Yes. That's
So
because
speech. So from emotion, it comes this way, versus it should go filtered and come. At least, what is the best way to say in a way that I'm of service, or I'm at least aware of what's going on, that I can tell the other person. And I don't have to tell you the Bhagavad Gita verse. Krishna says, Abhyasa yuktena It's a practice. It's a anushilana, cultivation. Okay, anyone else has any reflection or thought? Okay. Well, thank you very much. We will meet again next week. Yeah, next week. Yes. Hopefully next week. Done and dusted with Ravana. Let's see. It depends on how big, how detailed the chapter is, what Matili says. So hopefully Valmiki has been successful in keeping us on the edge of our seat, and we shall all celebrate. Most likely, we shall celebrate the killing of Ravana. Okay, until then, let's keep in our minds the beautiful form of Sri Rama, along with his wonderful consort Sita Devi, our brother Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, surrounded by all the great sages, our dear Hanuman sitting right at the feet of Sri Rama, singing the glories of Sita, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, and all the devotees of Sri Rama. Let that picture nourish us, strengthen us, inspire us, and push us towards a wonderful life of service. Hare Krishna. Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.